Welcome everybody to Wyandotte County Park, known as simply Wyco, home of the 2018 Kan-U-Wyco, presented by Dynamic Discs. Getting the season started over here in Kansas City, this tournament is usually lined with rope, lots of OBs. We're not going to see that this year. The course is going to play a little bit easier. Today, we have Andrew Presnell, Robert McCall, Tom Gilberg, Bruce Esquivel playing in this first round. We'll be starting on hole 2. Tree line fairway, OB on the right side, don't go into the street. And it's very easy to kick off of a tree. Also, we got those low ceiling branches that can make it a little bit difficult to get down to the green. Andrew from Ozark, Missouri gets us started. And is flying a little high. He gets through the branches but clips something. He's got a long putt left, but he puts it in play. That's a good way to start the round. Tom Gilberg from Columbia, Missouri. This is his second open tournament. And his has a wild skip down to the left side. But he's not out of bounds. He's put the disc in play. Robert McCall from Emporia, Kansas. That disc got a little too much hyzer angle on it. It hits one of the trees and he is well short. And last on the tee is Bruce Esquivel, also from Emporia, Kansas. That's a beautiful shot. It's going right down the middle, low, away from all trouble. Gets a great skip. Tom's approach is really good. He has a drop in left. Sorry, that was Robert. This is Tom. Tom's approach goes a little bit wide. He's got about a 15-footer left to go, 12 feet. And now Andrew for his birdie. Oh, that was a good putt. Just comes up short, hits the face mask. Bruce's birdie attempt comes up short as well. Everybody's just going to clean up. A little bit chilly this morning. Fortunately, the winds were not high, so that allowed the wind chill to be close to the actual temperature. After hole 2, everybody parred, everybody's even. Hole 3, 519 feet. No out of bounds problems here. This is a roller hole. It is so far down there. There's so much trouble by airing it out. Branches can get you. Andrew gets it going with a roller, which is the preferred play on this hole. It really is. And it's looking good, but it's stood up and it is tailing out right a little bit early. Not bad at all, though. Next up, we got Tom. Tom is from New Zealand. He's been here since 2015. He has married and is living now in Columbia, Missouri. And his roller, he didn't stand it up, and it goes wide left. He will have a long approach to get his par. looks like he's lining up a roller as well. And that one's got stood up a little bit too soon. A lot of leaves on the ground. Not ideal rolling conditions, but still the best way to get from A to B. Burst tries the air shot, and that's the danger with the air shot. There's so many branches to deal with. You have to be so precise, so accurate. So he's left with a good 300 feet. And that's a beautiful flex forehand shot. Excellent shot by Bruce. We can see how far Tom is here. Fortunately, he doesn't have any issues as far as trees to deal with. Comes up a little bit short. This hole plays downhill, so the shot can go a little bit long. No issue for Robert. He hits the pole. And now Andrew faces a long putt. Very smart. Opts for the layup. Tom with a 60-footer to save par. Oh, hits the am side of the chains. Out left. These aren't the most catchable baskets. But that was a good putt by Tom. Bruce leaves a little bit high. He will also be settling for a bogey. Hole 4, a lot of trees on the right side. Now what you're seeing here on the camera, I'm going to go down the tunnel shot. Nobody takes the tunnel shot. You want to play it out wide left. You have the roller option, it's pretty good. You also have the flex turnover shot. If you're a right-handed backhand player. And that is exactly what Andrew does. He goes for the turnover flex shot. It gets down there really nicely. It's very difficult to get yourself in position for an eagle. It is a short par 4. The basket is very difficult to get to. So it's in its difficulty that it makes it a par 4, not in its distance. Robert is in the brush, close to the opening to get down to the green. This is what we typically see. The shot's finishing up left. It gives you another entry down to the green. There's 2 entryways, one on the front, one on the back, and Tom's set up nicely for that first one. Bruce is a little bit short. He's going to have to curl it in here. And that looks pretty good. Tom's looking straight down at it. Tom's putting with a P2. He throws a lot of disc mania. And it appears he has gone in the water. There is a creek behind it. It's just a small stream. It is casual. Robert has placed himself in a difficult situation. Doesn't clip anything. He's down there by the hole. And Andrew with a bid for eagle. Oh, just short.
Good line at it.
Now, Tom did land in the water. He has taken relief directly behind the disc. And Andrew is on the board with the birdie. Robert also gets a birdie, so now they are down to -1. Him and Andrew, hole 5. This basket is right behind that pine tree. It's a difficult approach, going with the right side hyzer. The green is fast. If you have a good forehand, it's a much better approach with a forehand shot. You set yourself down below the basket for an easy putt. Andrew's looking at the right-hand backhand. He's trying to go around the pine tree. And that was kind of skippy. Looks like he's down below the basket. Should be pretty good. Robert also lining up that backhand. And he has played it wide and gets really good skip down to it. In the circle. Very good setup. Bruce is hoping for a skip there. He played it really, really wide. And the way this ground has been acting up there, he probably did get a skip. So everybody went backhand. And Tom is unfortunately short. That is a very difficult pine to get around. Fortunately, he's not in it. But he does clip a branch there, and he is left with about a 25-footer to try and save his par. Andrews rolled all the way down, but he's set up for a birdie. It's a little bit low. And Bruce did get that skip he needed. Oh no. This is a very fast green. It is so easy to roll all the way back down. Just a little high for Robert. Trying to get back-to-back birdies. Now Tom to save par. Great putt by Tom. gonna miss. He was fortunate not to have rolled down too far, but he did not make his comeback. He will be tapping in for a bogey. Hole 6, this is what you see from the tee pad. You cannot see the basket. So you kind of have to step off to the side and walk it in. It's difficult to get your distance. You have to be really, really confident in your distance control. Also a fast green. Pin is on the side of the hill. It's a relatively easy birdie.
Perfect timing for an ace, but it was way over there.
It's hard to tell off the green what happens. Sometimes it looks like a perfect shot and it skips and rolls. Sometimes the disc looks rather short and it's parked. You actually have more faith in its outcome if you feel it came up short. It tends to trickle down towards the basket. Sends it flat, low, looking for that skip. And Andrews left himself with a 50-foot putt on this short hole 6. And he hits the face mask. No! Evil roll away. Good line, just a little bit low. We've seen a couple of those from Andrew today. And Bruce has joined him. High, just a little bit left of center. Very disappointing. At least it didn't roll away for Bruce. The only good thing about when you hit high like that is, well, you weren't low. At least you gave it a chance. Tom gets his birdie. And now Robert looking to do the same from approximately 23 feet. And I say 23 because it's somewhere between 20 and 25. I don't know exactly.
I was like, nah, dude.
Very disappointing bogey on this hole 6. One of those you definitely want to get. So Robert takes a lead, 2 down, and Bruce needs to do some work to get back into this match. Hole 7, low ceiling. We have a lot of brush on the right side. The most seam throw here is a hyzer. Skip down to give yourself a good look at your next approach. A roller works quite well up the left side. Robert goes for the hyzer flip. And he has set himself up nicely up on the left side. That gives you a pretty easy approach down towards the basket. Tom's looking at the traditional hyzer route on the right side. And that's looking really good. That's going to get a good skip. Set himself up nicely. That was very well executed. The trick on the right side is don't pull it into the brush and keep it low, because those branches will knock you down. Looking for that glide now. Andrew has set himself up nicely. This big old cloud of dust. And that's the problem. You can't send it high on this hole on the left side. Bruce hits the branches and he is well short. That needs to come back. And it does. Bruce has had some really nice approaches with his forehand. And this is the benefit of landing up on the left side. You have a nice, basically unobstructed approach to the basket. Oh, he doesn't do what he wanted to do on that one. He's high left. Andrew, I'm not sure if that clipped a branch, but he is way left and long. I think it clipped a branch. Oh, that one's got a lot of steam on it. It needs to settle. Andrew from just inside the circle, maybe just outside of it. And low again. Andrew's been having some issues. He just recently switched putters. He had been putting with the Pure for a long time. So this is his first tournament with a new putter. It's understandable that there's going to be some differences. There needs to be an adjustment period. It's also early in the season. These guys are getting their bearings. However, Robert has just come from a win down at the Cedar Hill Chill, besting Johnny McCray and Coda Hatfield by one shot. So Robert has no excuse for that miss right there. Just kidding, Robert. Bruce gets the birdie. Hits the early tree. Gets a good forehand approach and a very nice putt. And he is the only birdie on the card. Andrew needs to save par now. He is not feeling too confident with those baskets. Robert maintains that 2-throw lead over Tom and Andrew. Bruce gets one back. Hole 8. This is an aceable hole. 2 286 feet, uphill. Definitely one of the ones you chalk up to must get birdie. Comes a little bit high, fades left, looks to be about pin high. That got flat. Robert is begging for it to come back left, and it does. He's inside 25 feet. Didn't look like it was going to come back though. Tom has a full reach back on that. When he gets it up there, he's inside 15 feet. And that is an early release. He is fading out left. He is again on the edge of the circle. Wide right. Good putt, Bruce. Climbs his way back to even. And a good putt by Robert gets him to 3 under par. Makes the comeback. Good par save by Andrew. And there's the birdie for the Kiwi. He gets on the board.
Oh, yeah?
So Robert extends his lead by 1 on to hole 9. This one has a drastic change from years past. The rope on this one makes it very, very difficult hole. Now we are allowed to go hard at it, attack the green, whereas before it was more of a placement type hole. If you had a lot of guts, you could run at the green, but very difficult. Right down the center. Bruce has another good pull, similar to the one on his starting hole on hole 2. That one flew very, very nicely. Oh, and that was looking really good. Needs to climb up that hill.
Very nice.
Excellent drive by Robert. Another good drive. Right down the middle. Gets a nice skip. He is outside of the circle, but he has placed himself in a good spot. Andrew from Ozark, Missouri. He's last year's Kansas City Wide Open champion. He's been touring full-time ever since. And his drive fades left pretty hard. He's going to have a long putt for his birdie. just short again. He's had good line. Just short. That's got to be the third face mask he's hit. That one looked pretty good. Just missed it on the right side. Robert with the best drive of the bunch. Looking to convert on this 28-footer. His reaction says it all. And everybody's cleaning up their pars. In years past, you're happy with a par on this hole. Ecstatic with a birdie, but happy with a par. Not so much this year. So things remain the same after hole 9. We go to hole 10, the last hole on our front 9. 522 feet. You have out of bounds on the left side, but it really doesn't come into play unless you're using a forehand and it flips somehow. The wind has not been a factor this year. Wyco is notoriously windy, as you can see by the state of the flags on all the baskets. They are tattered. The wind is vicious out here. Bruce had a nice drive, sets himself up for an easy approach to the basket. And that one's flipped a little bit. He is wide right. This tree on the right side, this first tree gets in your head when you're about to drive on this hole, because you have to pull it. It's such a long hole. You're afraid to please don't hit that first tree. And Tom has done the exact same thing, even more so than Robert. He is way right. This is a good looking pull by, oh no, he hits a tree. That one was going places. He would have been, well, the grass is kind of thick over here. Probably wouldn't have gotten that good of a skip, but excellent approach by Tom. Robert looking to replicate that shot right there. And that's good enough. It's par 4. It's a bit of a tweener hole. It's a very easy 3. But it's a little too far to call it a par 3. Good putt by Andrew. You can see he's still not trusting the basket. He's staring at that disc until it is flat on the bottom. And on this last hole of the front 9, everybody gets a par as well. Okay, join us on the back 9, see if Robert McCall continues his dominance. He is at 4 under for the event so far. Thanks for watching. See you on the back 9.